All right, we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it again from take a new take.
Dennis Chung apologizes for fucking nothing. Take 2.
I can't believe I actually dipped my dirty ass hands into my fucking tumbler.
Well, welcome to the Double D experience.
Or are we gonna apologize for nothing?
Sometimes apologizing, sometimes crying, but never actually doing either of those things. Evidently.
Unless I really hurt someone, but even then, it's like, bro. By the way, yeah, we're talking about iDubbz. At least just starting it off here, because honestly, when David told me about this, I mean, I already heard. I didn't know the extent of his, like, apology to the wide-ranging community for all his shenanigans that he was up to, like, fucking years ago. And I think for any of us who, like, kind of grew up on Filthy Frank, Max Mofo, and then plus even, of course, iDubbz, you know, Content Cop, everyone remembers, like, you know...
You can't forget anything for views.
And, of course, we can't forget anything for views. Like, just that whole posse, like, we all kind of, like, at least people
what did iDubbz do? Like, what, like, for people who don't know who he is or living under a rock and shit?
He made some very, what the PR teams would call inflammatory content. Not suited for work. Not suited for children. And, just not about YouTube's current values at this point in time. And,
there's porn on YouTube.
There is porn on YouTube, but people will say, no, this is for educational purposes.
Dude, it's such bullshit. What I remember there was this, like, ridiculously busty chick just, like, talking about, like, what the lotion is doing to her breasts, like, scientifically, whatever. She's like, yes, I know this may seem pornographic.
Fuck
but
off.
But it's about, like...
Bitch, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding?
Not to mention Naked News.
Naked News, too. Yes.
I remember the uncensored version actually was on YouTube for a while, I think. And if you're wondering what Naked News is, it's exactly what it fucking sounds like. And,
it's pretty
basically,
funny.
iDubbz, you know, we stand Filthy Frank on this show, right? And
yes.
Filthy Frank made a lot of crazy content and shit, you know, back in the day, you know, just doing a lot of really wacky shit. Like, one of my favorites is when, like, him and his boys shot fireworks at each other. That's honestly one of my favorites. Filthy Frank's Jackass era is, like, my favorite. Like, the Jackass era of Filthy Frank was
a golden era.
Golden, for sure. And
platinum, even.
And in some cases that involved Max Mofo, anything for views, and in this case what we're talking about is iDubbz. And iDubbz basically made a video recently announcing, or basically just talking about how he just feels like he's changed and just deeply regrets a lot of the content he makes. And
pussy.
It's not... Whoa.
I'll let you finish.
Whoa. Tone it back there, Dennis. I don't believe he was being pressured to even do this. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's different. Like, if you're apologizing to appeal to the mob, that's a whole different, like, can of worms right there. Because, one, it goes to show you're not actually sorry, and you're doing it because you have to save face or save your career. And
fair.
Two, it's not how you authentically feel, which is a whole different thing. If the cancel culture mob ever comes for you, like, genuinely comes for you, the best thing to do is literally just ignore it. The more you acknowledge it, the deeper the dick is gonna go, and the rabbit hole's gonna go. If it's for something
that's invalid, though.
Yeah.
But that's the key takeaway, because if you did fuck up, then yeah, obviously you should.
And the only thing that I feel like, I didn't even watch iDubbz, right? So basically, iDubbz is apologizing for some of the content that he used to make, because he used to make some pretty wild stuff, and the stuff that he did with Filthy Frank was hilarious. Like, what was it? Broken Twister, or whatever it was called?
Broken Twister, How to Be a Gentleman.
How to Be a Gentleman, I love that video. And that video's funny, because you're just laughing at these fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like, just throwing shit at each other, like, doing shit that you would never, like, with common sense, you'd never think to do, and you watch it.
Yeah.
It's the same as Jackass. And I don't see people still
harmless.
complaining about
At the end of the day,
Jackass.
it's harmless. It's just stupid fun. It's just slapstick type shit.
So what a lot of content creators are saying, including Critical, who I heard about this from, I watched his video about it. He's like, because Critical didn't really agree with it either. He's like, you're conscious, you can say whatever you want, you can feel regret for whatever you want, but, like, you don't have to feel regret for most of it. He said, if anything, the only thing I feel like you should actually, like, I guess apologize for if you feel like was bad is just the slurs. Because he dropped a lot of slurs in his videos, a lot of N-words, a lot of F slurs, all that shit basically. And back then it was already considered edgy. Now you die for saying that shit.
Yeah, you die on the internet. Well,
you
their
dial
version.
it.
Yeah.
It's against Twitter law, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And in some cases, actual law, depending on what country you're in, or like what your intent is, really.
Depends on
Well,
like
that's when it comes to street law. Like, you say a slur to somebody's face, and you don't expect to get your ass beaten into the ground. I mean, that's your
that's your prerogative.
That's your fucking prerogative, idiot. But like, that's basically what iDubbz is essentially apologizing for. But he's lumping, seemingly from the way he described in his video, he's lumping like all of it together, and people are forgetting, like, like, he spoofed on the most malignant narcissists on that fucking website. He really did a great job exposing just how fucking shitty a lot of those people who make those YouTubers are. The whole Tana situation was a whole nother one.
Rice, Rice Gum, if anyone remembers him.
I think even Leafy to an extent, right? Didn't he do something with Leafy? It was more like the Keemstar thing or whatever. We don't keep up with YouTube drama.
Yeah, because that's like,
fucking
it's
shit.
also ancient history at this point. Like, if anyone remembers it, I guess, good for you, I guess, but...
iDubbz came in and just showed that none of that shit matters. These people aren't important or better than you, And we can laugh at everybody together. Like, it reminded us that, it's about laughing... It's about laughing with you and at you.
Like, together.
If that makes any sense.
We're all laughing together because we all are in agreement. Like, just, if we're pointing to this one person in particular, let's say Leafy, Tana, whoever, like, this guy's fucking, like, they're worth laughing at.
Yeah.
And, like, we should do it, because it's like, why wouldn't we? Why shouldn't we?
You want to be a public figure, you're not unexcusable to libel. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when Donald Trump, like, first got elected, and he was threatening to sue anybody that said anything bad about him.
Oh, my God.
And it's like, yeah, you kind of can't do that. You're a public figure. It doesn't work like that. So, I don't know. There's just, like, some people, like, I'm not going to be that guy who says everything sucks, blah, blah, blah. But there was an era where, like, and even now, really, where so many YouTubers are just such malignant narcissists and feel like they're more important than anybody else. And one thing that iDubbz did was he exposed the shit out of that.
Yep.
And it was great. Like, that's where the content comp was good. Again, some of the shit he said, maybe some of the humor, like, just doesn't fly as, like, society became, like, at least a little more politically correct as we start to enter a post-war culture, really. But to me, it would be like if Joji, like, came out of nowhere and beyond even acknowledging the stuff he used to do, which he already doesn't even really, unless people bring it up to him, which he doesn't beat people over the head about, it would kind of just taint his whole legacy. And we've already talked about the legacy of Filthy Frank a million times. There's never, ever, 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 ever going to be another YouTuber like Filthy Frank. And I'm not just saying that to gas him up. I'm saying it because it's true. The man's legacy is insane. And iDubbz, I didn't watch him, but, I just feel like lumping absolutely all of it in together. I don't know. Maybe he's beating himself up about it too much. Maybe his wife really did change him. When they got I don't mean that like a bad thing, by the way. Like, maybe like maybe his wife just really made him like a little bit more of a PC person, because I know there was some spat that somebody was like shitting on his wife or doxing his wife or some shit like that recently, and I don't remember what that was about. If the man genuinely changed and he just feels regret for those things, who the fuck are you and I to tell him you can't feel that way? You know what I mean? But
True.
if he's gotten pressured, though, by other people, but that's a whole different ballpark.
That's also what I'm wondering, because it's like, is he now under fire because a lot more people have found his, like, older shit, and now they're kind of, like, putting it under a microscope and calling him out for being, like, like, all the phobics in the world, and also racist? Like, that part, at least, I'm not sure. And so this all, like, again, like, I guess depends, like, on that context, but, if we're going to just compartmentalize it, like, if that is the case, that a lot of people are now coming forward and, like, now putting all of his content under a microscope and kind of just going, like, well, you said this, like, typical cancel culture bullshit. Like, and if he's not that man no more, then I'm like, I'd say keep the apologies to a minimum, but then that's it. Like, like, if he's feeling that truly now, and, like, it's not because, like, there's, like, outside pressures about it, and he's just kind of, like, now just feeling the regret, and, he's getting older now, and, like, obviously, a lot of times, like, as time passes, like, you kind of look back at the stuff that you did, and there's sometimes regrets, of course, but I think, honestly, in his case, it's, like, depending on which one, I would still tell him, don't apologize. because Joji, as Frank, arguably said, I think, like, if we're gonna quantify it, he said way worse things.
He dropped a lot of N-words in his video.
And
in his
Joji
videos.
has not once ever came out and apologized for anything. He just basically said, all my shit is up there. And you can criticize me all you want for it. But the funny thing was that there was one time where I think, it was like in either a Kotaku article or some shit. Like, apparently some people found his older content as Filthy Frank, and like they were like trying to put him on blast. But then all of his fans just all came out like Lord of the Rings style over the cliffs on their horses and just said, yeah, we all know this. And we don't care.
That's a textbook example of like a shitty news organization just like not actually caring about the greater good and just trying to get some quick clicks.
I mean, it might have been Kotaku, I don't know, situation. But it's like...
Well, if it was Kotaku, then that's
way.
Absolutely what it was. But
I know,
like,
but either way, though, whether it was them or not, it's just like, bro, like, he's above your he's above your criticism. That's the funny thing. And I will even go on to say that, like, at the very least, it was like, as far as like, you know, as far as like the four of them, at least anything for views, Max, iDubbz, and Frank. Frank's top. iDubbz is right below him as far as like, let's say, kind of stuff that, you know, at least if we're going to look at it under a microscope now, we would consider it to be like kind of, you know, very like un-YouTube friendly, at least in the year 2023. But I mean, I don't know the guy, obviously, like none of us really do. And I honestly truly even feel that, like, as far as like how he feels right now, obviously we shouldn't invalidate that, but I still even feel that, like, you know, I don't think you have to literally be on your knees begging for forgiveness, because it's like, first of all, that was fucking years ago. And obviously you're not the same person that you are now. And if you feel like you have to apologize, go feel free. But I'd even go on to say that, like, go and apologize, but at the same time, like, do not go like bend over backwards to like ask for forgiveness, like, because that's just stupid.
Well, that's what like makes his apology like the best one on YouTube, because he's not doing it because he was a threat of getting canceled. Okay. He's not doing it for anybody else. He's doing it genuinely, right? Because you got to remember, and I can relate to this as a content creator who stopped making content that got the most views on his channel because I hated the audience I was building. It's important to remember, you know, like we were talking about, like how can't fucking, like, he's not saying this to not get canceled. That's what makes his apology, like, so genuine, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta remember the impact that his content had on middle schoolers at the time. I'm serious. You gotta remember that Filthy Frank he felt just like a white dude or white Asian dude who just has an N-word pass. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But, like, his videos were never about, like, you know, I feel like being racist. Not that iDubbz were either, but iDubbz, the way his content was framed, made it seem differently. You know, the thing is, being ironically racist, the unfortunate reality is that there's too many dumb fucks on the internet that will attract genuine racists to that, if that makes any sense. And if he feels bad for, like, garnering up that kind of audience, I don't blame the man for apologizing, right? Like, I don't think even, like, people fully grasp, like, the impact that his content had on, like, kids and shit back in the day, which, again, there's no threat of him being canceled. If anything, like, you know, he built up a whole audience of people who constantly cry about cancel culture and probably apply it to situations where it doesn't exist. And he didn't want that. He just wanted to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. He wasn't trying to apologize to satisfy some angry mob. No one was trying to cancel him. He did it because he knew that he wanted to get rid of the type of audience he doesn't want around anymore. And as somebody who went through something similar, I get that. Mm-hmm. You know, when I made my top 10 videos, they were the most viewed things on my channel. I hated the audience that I was building up. I thought it was kind of toxic. I hated how they, like, fought with each other. I hated how it brought out, like, you know, 0-2 or 1-2 or smashers who felt like they knew everything. And it literally led to, like, some guy, like, making, like, ugly-ass artwork of me and shit because and, like, trying to twit longer and cancel me because I said his character in a video game was bad. I've told that story on the podcast before. You all already know that one. That's the problem with Nintoonist. I should have fucking saved that shit, man, before he deleted it. I really should have saved that shit because it was the funniest twit longer I've ever read in my life.
You could always go to go into the archives. I think you could probably pull it up.
I maybe could. 5:30, 6 o'clock on New Year's Eve. That's what this
Oh,
kid was
wow,
doing.
you even remember the time and date.
Yeah,
Holy
I remember
shit.
the time because that's literally when this kid did it, because the only thought that went in my mind was, holy shit, This is what you're doing on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, you're a fucking loser. Oh my god.
And you care so much, how I feel about a fucking 3D character in a fighting video game.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. So that's just the way that I feel about it. Like, as far as garnering the audience and shit, I get that. The slurs, I totally get that. But as far as just making shock content, I don't feel like he should apologize for that. That's a whole different ballpark.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
But at
I think
the
we
very
could agree
least,
on that.
Yeah, if he's not apologizing for anybody other than himself, that's all that matters. Again, who the fuck are you and me to tell us how we feel? But, yeah, you know.
But it's just so odd, though, because, like, you know, obviously Frank was bigger than iDubbz, and Joji still, to this day, like, could... I think he honestly just accepted, like, or accepts, like, who he was back then, and now when anyone ever brings it up, he's just kind of like, yeah, I did that. And he just, like, does not, like, say anything past that, and I think it's just, like, I don't know, it's so odd, because, at least for iDubbz, yeah, like, the content that he's doing now, I never watch it, or any of it, but it's like, all the stuff that he's doing now is obviously, yeah, like, completely just, like, completely 180 from, like, what he did before, and... I think, you know, it's just kind of like a symptom of, like, you know, kind of how when you were young or younger, like, everyone who was pretty young kind of was prone to saying some usually, like, either borderline to full-on edgy shit, and they just thought, like, haha, I said it because, like, you know, it got a rise out of someone, or, you know, it was funny. And to be fair, I mean, you know, me and David even, like, we all grew up with that, and, like, to an extent, I guess now that I'm getting older, like, you know, that content obviously, like, would not fly at all in, like, in YouTube and their, like, community guidelines, but, like, at the time, like, you know, obviously, like, I still think Filthy Frank is funny. I still think, like, you know, even iDubbz is still, like, his older stuff is still, like, funny. It still holds up to this day. And I even I think even CoffeeZilla is actually, I think he almost took over Content Cop spiritually, because he actually is one of the few I see out there who actually, like, goes and investigates and actually calls out people on their bullshit. He was the one that called out, or investigated at least, you know, Logan Paul and his whole, like, crypto game bullshit that he was going through and everything.
And Sam Bankman-Fried.
And Sam Bankman-Fried,
He was one of the earliest people the biggest people who really exposed him before that happened. But isn't his more about, like, investigative journalism, though? Like, it's not really more so about, like, comedic investigative journalism?
No, I know. But that's, like, that's why I'm saying, like, when I saw CoffeeZilla and a lot of his stuff, I mean, I think spiritually, it's almost got the same spirit. And I know, yeah, obviously it's not, like, played up for laughs, because, like, a lot of his, like, subject matter, like, is, for the most part at least, like, serious. But that's why, like, I'm saying that, you know, it's a lot of the guys that we saw back then have all been kind of, like, you know, succeeded spiritually by a lot of others, like, now. But I also think, though, that, like, there are some out there, like, from the past at least, and we're gonna, like, at least just, like, pin this on Frank as well. There's nobody out there that could ever do what he did, like, now. There's absolutely nobody. And, like, I know it sounds like I'm like putting him on a pedestal, like, of Joji, but, like, there is absolutely nobody now that could ever do what he did. And that is also just kind of because, like, YouTube is the way that it is now. But I think even, like, for iDubbz is, like, kind of content cop content, or, like, even, like, the unboxing, like, who wasn't doing unboxing videos, like, back then too, but it's like, at the very least, like, he made it so in a way that it was just kind of, like, at least entertaining, and it wasn't just, like, any other, like slapped, put together kind of, like, you know, all unboxing videos, like, oh, hey guys, we got this nerd box, we're gonna open it up and see what we got. Oh, a t-shirt and this little doohickey that I'm probably gonna throw out as soon as this video's over, and among other, like, trash that it came with. But I guess my point is that, like, I mean, you know, again, like, as far as, like, where he's at now, iDubbz, and just kind of what kind of person he kind of wants to show himself as, like, to his community, and even just, like, to the wider internet. I mean, you know, like, I don't blame him for it, because it's, like, obviously the person you are today wasn't the person you are, like, fucking 10 years ago, like, obviously.
Amen to that.
You know, we all get older and wiser, but I don't know, for me, if I was him, like, maybe I would still kind of laugh at all the stuff that I did back then, because it's kind of like, I would laugh and also cringe at the same time because it's like, wow, I actually did that. And like, you know, it's just kind of like at the very least, it's just kind of like a trip down memory lane, and like you just kind of cringe at it because like who doesn't cringe at how they were like 10 years ago?
I took a trip down memory lane recently as well, and I didn't cringe as hard or really, but I know what that feels like.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, in that department, like I if anything, I salute, you know, iDubbz doing what he did, but I still also feel that at the very least, it's like he did that again, like as you said, not because of outside pressures, because of cancel culture or any of that. He literally did it because he just genuinely felt like, yeah, I want to talk about this, and I want to like tell people about my feelings on all of this. And it was heartfelt and genuine, as you said. So at the very least, it's like, okay, like I can't. Who's gonna fault anyone for that?
You can't.
But
especially the way that his content did impact younger children and shit. You know, like there's not too many creators out here, especially so many of the ones on TikTok where they do horrible shit and it impacts kids and they apologize. A lot of them are just very huge malignant narcissists and they knuckle down. iDubbz not only is the one who felt like, you know, okay, my content did this and it impacted all these young preteens to become actual racists. I apologize for that. That's amazing that he was already one of the only creators with a genuine apology on the website. He was also on the other end of that spectrum, one of the only people who was helping expose those fucking pricks.
Yes.
At the same time, you know what I mean? And that's why I also end this segment with just saluting the hell out of him for not only doing what he did, but for apologizing for some of the negative impacts that it had as well.
Yeah.
So, and you can't fault the man for either of those things, regardless of how you feel about him. Even if you are one of those idiots who's just saying the only reason he's apologizing is because he knows that shock culture can't be monetized in 2023, and that is why he's apologizing for it now. When in retrospect, the only thing he should be apologizing for is that haircut. And speaking of apologizing,
he should be in jail for that haircut.
Oh yeah, it was the other content cop put his ass in jail for that one. The barber cop.
CoffeeZilla should go and investigate why his haircut is as bad as it is.
That would be like CoffeeZilla's longest video.
Why is it such an affront to humanity? Like why do you keep having that terrible 1970s bygone age fucking haircut?
Straight up looks like a homeless person. And even he has a wife, so you know.
Looks like he smokes crack like in the fucking trap like all day, like Jesus.
Maybe he does. Anyway, speaking of apologizing, I feel like other people who should definitely be apologizing right now should be NetherRealm Studios for not even making an attempt, like a concerted effort. You know, just a blink of like effort going into this one. For the size of Mortal Kombat 1. That game, the new Mortal Kombat game, dropping in 4 fucking months. Let's go. It's a whopping 100 gigabytes.
It's a Call of Duty, what was the one that was 100 gigs? I forgot.
That would be every Call of Duty.
No, but the first one. That was like on Battle.net. I forgot.
First one that was on that might have been Black Ops 4.
Yeah, Black Ops 4. It's like Black Ops 4 essentially started a trend where now all your games are going to be the size of small hard drives.
Dude, what the fuck is it with Western game developers and not even trying to condense the size of their game? And what's the excuse for it? It's a fighting game.
I wish I knew.
It's not like it's a Dark Souls like Elder Scrolls massive, ridiculously sized open world game where it's got to load like all these textures and all the textures on top of those textures, all the characters ahead, and basically one giant overconnected overworld. It's a fighting game. It loads individual screens, 2 characters on the screen, and then the background behind them, right? 100 gigs. And this is not even including DLC. Keep in mind, like this is the base game. The game is not out yet. We don't know who the DLC fighters yet. I mean, we know who some of them are because there was a leak and no spoilers, but your boy was right on that one. Called that shit from a mile away.
I am better. I'm better.
Fucking Omni-Man's gonna like roll up to the he's gonna like Omni-Man's gonna like roll in, right? He's just gonna his intro screen, like for his intro fighter, he's gonna roll up to a car and be like, "Where's Scorpion?"
Fucking
Where's Sub-Zero?
like during events, like all players who play as Homelanders also gonna be like looking at everyone's like, it's like I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better, I am better.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna scream that shit once he gets a brutality. I'm serious. That's probably gonna be his actual dialogue quote. He's gonna be like, "I'm better."
I also hope like Anthony Starr actually like he actually does
It will be
the
him.
voice. I hope
it's definitely gonna be him.
I hope so.
I'm telling you, it's definitely
no one
gonna
could
be
play.
him.
No one even could even speak as Homelander better than Anthony Starr. It's just it is the way it is. Like
Yeah.
I hope they could get him on it.
No, definitely. I think there are just reasons they didn't get the other ones from earlier before. They got Carl Weathers to be in fucking Mortal Kombat just to voice a skin for Jax. So, not to mention also the old movie heads as well from the 1995 movie. They got Johnny Cage's, Sonya Blade's, Raiden's, and Shang Tsung's original voice actors. And for the former three, just to play skins. They had movie skins for them that changed all their, to change the voice actor and, to be their model from the original movie. But yeah, regardless,
they also need to get Gene Simmons for Omni-Man. Like...
Gene Simmons?
Oh no, J.K. Simmons.
Gene Simmons?
Wrong Simmons, my bad. Just kidding, Simmons.
I wanna rock and roll all night.
As he's like fucking destroying
and
your
join the Federation every day. well, thank God they didn't get the fucking guy from Kiss.
Music, okay? I forgot. All right,
you don't know actors, is what you don't know.
I know J.K. Simmons. I just literally I had like a brain fart at that moment. I was like going through my, like how people like as they're thinking like the gears are turning, you're just going through the library of your stupid thoughts like real quick, and all of a sudden I was like the first name that I just saw, I was just kind of like, Gene. Oh, yeah, that was him, Gene Simmons.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, it's like literally the next book right after Gene was J.K. Simmons, and I just did not look at it.
I wanna nut punch you all night.
Destroying your skull.
And brutal every day. All right.
Why isn't Kiss in Mortal Kombat? They should bring them in too.
Why the fuck would they be, Dennis?
Look, they got everybody and anybody. It's like Smash Brothers, just except like more mature.
What do you mean characters that make fucking sense though? Homelander and Omni-Man, perfect. They already have superheroes and shit.
I don't know.
Like
Rambo was out of nowhere though. Come on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man.
He's also an action star from a very violent movie.
I know, but it's like, we also got Arnold Schwarzenegger as a Terminator, but it wasn't it wasn't voiced by Arnold, but
although the guy who voiced him in that game did a very good job. I will say that.
Bro, can I also just say then, it's not that hard to talk like Arnold, unfortunately.
Yeah, but to do it authentically.
Okay, I know, but
everybody can fucking do. Get to the chopper, do it now.
Where is John Connor?
Jorgen von Strangle, toughest fairy in the universe.
My fucking favorite was in that one episode in Fairly Odd Parents where like the rich kids like made their own movie and everyone went to go see it like in a film festival type of canaille sort of shit.
Yeah, and
like they got this like obviously like Arnold Schwarzenegger cutout. And like he was just kind of like, I'll be back with weapons.
I remember that. My favorite is when Jorgen goes to past Jorgen from the 70s. He's like, disco with myself. Outrageous.
I actually love that part too. Like just seeing like how it's so funny because it's like it's implied that he was just kind of like a peace-loving hippie, and I guess after like Vietnam and all that, he just went like just discarded the full fucking hippie persona like entirely. He did an opposite Bob Ross essentially.
Basically, who changed the world? A monkey. Then I'm going with monkeys. From this day forward, every fairy in the universe will be assigned to monkey children. All right, I'm done. Point is. 100 gigabytes. It's not a fucking open world game. It's a fighting game.
The new Star Wars is actually 128. I saw.
Oh my god.
The Falls of Jedi Survivor, yeah.
Here's the thing. You could shit on like the fucking Switch or whatever all you want. Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, massive open world, expands on the overworld that was already massive in Breath of the Wild. To the point where you can go to the fucking skies and seamlessly transition between them. 16 gigs. Granted, I guess the art style is not as realistic, a lot of cell shading and shit like that. But let's talk about one that is also cartoony, but a little more realistic. That also isn't on a console that can't handle games of that size on cartridges. Street Fighter 6. Also a very huge game, I'm not even gonna lie. It is quite big. But it's not as big, it's only 60.
But even then, though, here's the thing. Like, over the years, games have just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger as far as, like,
Final
kind of
Fantasy
storage
14.
size.
Final Fantasy 14. Gigantic, open fucking world, MOBA, DARPG, RARPG. 72. How is a fighting game bigger than that shit? How fucking realistic are the graphics? It's like, was the trailer? Did you saw the trailer? I mean, you saw the trailer. I
saw it. Yeah.
I mean, if the game looks like the trailer, then I can understand it maybe being that big. But still,
that's the thing. Like, whenever I see, like I don't know, like certain games that, like, you know, you are wowed by the graphics, right? But then now it's like it's slowly starting to turn into like, oh no, because it's like, how much of my hard drive is this gonna fucking take up? Like the fucking, it's essentially like,
I have 3 hard drives in my fucking rig. I have to delete shit for that game still.
I have 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not playing Mortal Kombat, but it's like
right.
I do not. Like, I commiserate with anyone that has to basically, like, make room in their hard drive to install a game. And, you know, there are times, though, like, when I had to delete shit that, like, okay, like, this is a file that, like, or, like, a game or program that, like, I just haven't been touching, like, for fucking years now at this point. So it's like, okay, might as well delete it and, like, just make some room, right? But it's like, more often than not, it's not because, like, oh, yeah, I'm, like, getting rid of a game that, like, I'm not playing. Because, for the most part, and from what I've seen from a lot of people's libraries, they only keep what they're gonna play. So it's like,
you have to now.
Yeah, like, you know, I've seen people who have massive Steam libraries, but they only have, like, let's say 4 or 5 games, like, actually installed, and then that's it.
Steam is infamous for that, for just buying so many games that you're not gonna play.
Yeah,
basically.
And you fall into that trap.
You know what probably happened? Western game devs probably caught on to the fact that so many people do that, and so they said, "Fuck it, why optimize? They'll just delete shit for now." That's a good thing about this cloud storage, I guess. And it's different because it's with Steam, it's actually downloaded onto your computer, though you do need to be on Steam to play it.
120 something gigs.
This game's not gonna run. It's not gonna run on the Switch.
No, absolutely not.
There is a Switch version, by the way. They actually are making a Switch version. I know, I have Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. I never played it because I wanted to get it on better hardware. I just impulse bought it one day when it was new because I'm like, oh, it's on a console I have, and I didn't have a good gaming PC at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But then I saw the graphics online, and I was like, oh, I don't want to play it on this. I'm just going to keep it a buck.
It's not going to do it justice. That's the thing, too.
This one... This one looks even, obviously it's like 5 years later, it's even better looking than MK11, which was already a really, really good looking game. Oh my god. That thing, it's gonna kill Switches. Straight up. It's actually gonna overheat them.
Even people who are gonna be running it on OLED, like if you are gonna be the 1 or 2 people that are gonna be playing on the Switch.
It doesn't even matter to fucking run it on the OLED because the OLED only makes a difference when you're playing it on handheld.
Yeah. So...
It has nothing to do with the NVIDIA chip inside it.
I thought OLED's running AMD.
Really?
I think they're only they've been AMD for a while. Yeah, it's ever since the Wii.
Switches? No. The Switch has an NVIDIA chip inside it. It launched with an outdated NVIDIA chip, by the way, and the reason it did is because Nintendo did not want to splurge the money on like the new upper class chips, because the Wii U was such a huge commercial failure that in case the Switch became one, they didn't want to dump all that money that they had lost with the Wii U.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
no, the Switch doesn't use AMD.
Yeah, it's using a slightly outdated GPU architecture.
Which is why I thought a Switch 2 was coming this year or the next, because like they'd already launched with an outdated one, plus the shelf thing. I already talked about that before, but whatever, man. I just wanted to talk about this one briefly because holy fuck, like, make an attempt. Optimization. Learn about it. And this isn't even just a NetherRealm Studio thing. Every Western game devs does this. Like Dennis mentioned, fucking Call of Duty, the biggest perpetrator of this. But granted, Activision is also Activision. They are legit one of the scummiest companies on the planet. So I can't imagine that they would make room for optimization when there's a lot of skirts and upskirts that need to be diddled in office cubicles, you know? Gotta get your fucking priorities straight, right? Yeah. Obviously, I'm still gonna get it. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Like, I'm not saying.
But you're gonna wince when it's time to download. You're gonna be taking a good shit. You could go and literally do grocery shopping. You could literally just do your errands for the day. It'll still not be done.
Not even with the fucking DLC. MK11 with the DLC is only a little over 100 gigs, and Mortal Kombat 11 added an entire second campaign to the fucking game.
God damn.
It's gotta be the cutscenes in the campaign. That's really gotta be the bulk of it. Right? Maybe, possibly, potentially, I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, it could just be like the amount of assets that are in there. Like,
True.
It's kind of nuts how, like, at least if you ever went through like a game's asset library and just went through all of the shit that they basically made for it, sometimes, like, because of the fact that they also decided, oh yeah, as far as graphic fidelity goes, like, we want this shit to make your GPUs scream. And some games, like, they literally, oftentimes, like, I've seen it where when a new hardware drops, where it's like, you know, the new NVIDIA 40 series cards, like, they want, you know, games that could literally push the hardware to the limit. And I mean, you know, like, it's a good test, I even would say, for the 40 series, just to, like, at least see, like, how, you know, how well it could hold up, or at the very least, like, how well it could really show off, like, the graphics.
Real quick, I'm gonna open Steam, because I still have a 3070, which...
It's good.
I know it is, but, like...
Don't let anyone say otherwise.
I want to read what the minimum specs are.
Did they? I don't think they would have already released that yet. Usually it's, like, not until a couple more months that they usually bring it out.
They did start pre-orders already, though, so I would imagine that it might already be listed.
Okay, let's see it together then.
Yeah, I'm opening up Steam right now. Hang on.
Mortal Kombat. And also, another thing I want to add, onto especially what David said with storage spaces, fucking prices. Every single game that I've seen lately have all been not $59.99. Now it's been $69.99. Nice. Games also just are getting more and more expensive now. And I honestly have... I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about it, because...
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom was 72, as is Mortal Kombat 1. I'm looking at the I'm looking at the Steam page right now.
Yep.
By the way, if you guys are ever interested in Mortal Kombat, there's a franchise sale for Mortal Kombat right now. It's literally all 90% off. You can get MK11 for legit like $5.
Jesus
it's insane.
Christ.
So if you don't have the game and even have the slightest interest in trying it, go for it. And that's even $5 without the DLC. Like, I'm being completely serious right now. You can get the Ultimate Edition for $9 with all the DLC, the second campaign, and everything. And you can get Mortal Kombat 11 with all the DLC, with Injustice 2 with all the DLC for $10.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's actually like...
That's pretty generous, actually. I like that.
That's like, just just get rid of it.
Yeah, like
please. Like, we like, at what point do you just burn it?
Honestly, yeah. It's like, look, like, you'd even tell, like, your customers, like, look, we cannot push this any lower. Just fucking buy it, please. Like, we just want you to buy it.
Any lower, we are paying you to take the game. But here we go. Graphics, we're looking at the minimum right now.
1080 Ti. Oh, no.
No,
well,
that's the recommended.
Minimum doesn't matter, though, in my opinion. Because I feel like a lot of people...
You would know more than me, to be honest.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, oh, I'm the Ninus Tactics of New Jersey. But it's just kind of like, more often than not, at least for me, like, I usually just go look at the recommended, like, right away, just because at least I want to see, like, what is the hardware that they would like you to be running to get the full, like, I guess, kind of graphical experience, like, out of the game. And I have a I don't know, fighting games are so weird, because, like, at least I have not really ever seen, like, fighting games, like, really take advantage of all of, like, the new technologies that have come out ever since, like, the 30 series. Like, kind of DLSS and just, like, kind of all these, like, new sort of options that, like, kind of, you know, new games have now. But for a fighting game, I'd always assume that, like, yeah, of course you want the game to look good, but at the very least, it's like, you also don't want to be lagging when you're fighting. It's the last thing you want during a fighting game.
My old graphics card that I used for a little while in my new PC because the graphics card that I had purchased was defective.
Oh.
Cannot run this game.
What was your old card again?
I think it was a 1060. This is like from a long time ago. This was from like 6 plus 8 years ago, something like that.
Do you remember your processor?
It was some fucking...
It was an Intel, right?
No, it wasn't.
It was AMD?
The old one was an AMD chip, I think, in my old PC.
And your old one, and your new one now is AMD too?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I legitimately don't remember. I think it might be one of the newer AMDs. I don't really remember. This rig is actually
something whatever.
I built this one actually 2.5 years ago as well at this point. So I can pull up my specs later, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way though, absolute ludicrous. That's really all I have to say about
100 fucking gigabytes. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the recommended is a graphics card that I don't even have no more. Or that like my old graphics card that I can't even handle.
Hold on, I want to see another thing. Like, there's another game that was open world, but I'm like, I need to see like if this was also like a fucking fat ass game as well. So the one that I looked up, Death Stranding, the walking simulator game that everyone, all 2 people loved, and Kojima got a standing ovation for it. That one was already almost pushing it because it was at 80. And this game came out a year ago. So it already means that we were already starting to head in that direction where it's just like optimization or, compression. What the fuck is that? Like we want this shit to be fat as fuck and not even put a corset around it, like, at all. And we already got it with Call of Duty. And now it's also getting to the point where I don't want to buy almost any game at full price now. Like, I say that, and I literally like bought Tears of the Kingdom like the fucking monkey that I am. And as soon as I saw that it released, I like almost said like, it's Zelda, like I'll buy it. Like I dropped the $70 price tag like thing for it.
Nice.
But the discussion that I'm at least seeing now in a lot of communities, especially with the way that prices are now, and people are saying like, oh, it's because of like inflation and just the like cost of kind of even making a game now. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's, in my opinion, like, is that really an excuse now? Like, considering it's like, it almost seems way too convenient for me that people are using the whole, like, obviously economical climate that we're in now, that they're saying like, oh yeah, we have to like jack up our prices. Like, from like, I thought there was a time, at least I thought, that there was no way ever that like a game, unless it was like a special edition or whatever, would be nothing like more than 60. At least that's what I thought.
The special edition of Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, what is it?
The premium edition.
What is it?
It's $110.
Oh, fuck out of here. Oh my god. Wait, how much? 100 what?
110.
What the fuck is in it? Mileena's dildo? Like, as a special collector's item, only you can use.
Would you tongue kiss Mileena for $1 million? Because I think there's a correct answer to this, depending on the context. Please, what were you gonna say?
As long as she doesn't literally bite my face off. Yeah.
All right.
And then
there you go.
Also, if I never have to see her again. Like, ever.
Call me.
I'm just gonna shake my head like, I'm already in my car driving away like,
See, because that's what I was saying. I ran that on Twitter, and I'm like, everybody in my comments was like, all right, hear me out.
Everyone's writing like 1,200 word essays about like why I would do it, and this is how I would do it.
Most of them said yes, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, she's gonna bite your fucking head off.
But
like
that's the context, though. As long as she don't do that.
If there was a way to guarantee that she's not gonna kill me, like she's not gonna literally bite my head off, then for $1 million, yeah, I'd do it. I would just literally close my eyes and I'd start touching her body because she has a sexy body. She has the body of a woman.
It's just Butterface. That's it. It's just everything's
It's a little worse than Butterface, Dennis.
It's more like lard face. Like,
it's a compliment to lard faces.
Oof.
Or like an insult to lard. That's an insult. That's an insult. I mean, my bad. That's an insult to lard faces.
You know what? Mileena would be great as? She would be great as one of those
bottle opener.
No. No. Yes, but like that would be her side gig. But her primary gig would be one of those OnlyFans girls that never show their faces. It's just like everything else. Everything else would just be like, damn, like top dollar, like just damn, like.
Oh my god!
She's
like so fucking hot.
It's so funny, like. It's so odd too, because like it's usually like. Okay, you don't show your face, but your voice and your body is sexy, right?
Yeah.
But in her case, it's only her body.
There's
because
OnlyFans girls that have done that, dude.
I know, but it's like in her case though, like she sounds like, yeah, give it to me. Like
not even. She actually has she has the ability, because she was created from her, to actually perfectly imitate Katana. So she can she can literally like a fucking robotic impersonation.
Okay, yeah, but that's
she
the
can
thing.
sound just like her.
So she still cannot ever show her face, like even if she was like, I'm like top 1% on OnlyFans or whatever, but then like as soon as she shows her face, her fucking subscribers would literally plummet into the fucking Earth's core. It would be done
faster than fucking Dream's face reveal, dude. Oh my god. Faster decline than after Dream's face reveal. Mileena reveals her face. She's in the 0.0001% earners on OnlyFans. Easily. Are you kidding? She would get there so fucking fast.
And then as soon as she shows her face,
second she pulls that shit down.
It's just like, remember that? I don't know. It was like this one video, a meme video, where it's like these two guys that are watching something and they're just like, ew. It's just like, what the fuck? That would be like everyone's collective reaction to it. There'd be like the 2% white knight idiots that are gonna be like, no, she's a queen, blah blah blah. And it's like, bro, I'm as accepting as I would fuck anything, but it's just like, that is where I draw the line.
Way a man could possibly be down that horrendous. Oh my god. Bro, you already watched that shit, be like, yo, oh my god, I wish I jerked off to like vintage porn that I found out later was my mom. I would have preferred this shit over fucking bully.
Everyone's just like saying like the worst like roasts ever. It's like, I would have rather seen two raccoons fucking than watch this shit.
Fucking rabies at the mouth. Yeah. Like, everywhere, dude.
I would have rather jerked off to a raccoon going through a wood chipper than see your face. It's just like all the comments are just like worse and worse as they like just as you scroll down.
You want to know the worst part about the whole thing? You're right. There's legitimately, at least, there would be a couple of guys, or at least enough to fill in like a shitty little subreddit somewhere, who'd be like, hear me out. And would unironically, because they feel like they have a chance with her, because of how everybody hates her all of a sudden because of their face, who was down so horrendous that they'd be like, yeah,
I actually love how she looks. And everyone's just like, cap.
But the worst part about it is that you can't even be like, you just don't see what's inside like I do. What do you mean what's inside? She's a fucking she's a fucking like cavernous psychopath.
You know what's also so funny?
She eats people. She literally eats people. What are you talking about? She's not pretty on the inside.
Kitana also would be on OnlyFans. Let's be real, she would be.
No, she wouldn't.
She would.
No, she wouldn't.
Come on, yeah, she would. Come on, man. But she would like to come off as like the Violet Myers of like OnlyFans. Like she's like, oh, like I accept any and all everybody to fuck me. Like I am accepting of everybody, no matter who you are. Even though I usually only want the biggest dicks. Like
Dennis, no,
come on, man. Come on. She would be, but it's like she wouldn't be like the like almost like you're an idiot if you don't sub to me type of people. She would just be like, sub to me. And that's it. Like,
you feel like she would be like the good girl of OnlyFans.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Obviously she's gonna get fucked and shit, but it's just like she's not gonna be like
she's gonna take that fire god Liu Kang daddy cock, yeah.
And just like like that's her content, like, and people are gonna watch for it. And I bet you, in another world, obviously the two of them both do OnlyFans, and like it just fucking eats Mileena inside. That like it's like, why does she have more subs than me? And it's just like, and everyone's just, and then she like actually like goes and asks others like, why doesn't my content get the same amount of traction that Kitana's does? Why does it not? And everyone just says the same thing. Look at the mirror, bitch. Look at yourself. Have you looked at yourself? You're asking us that question? You're really asking us that question? Oh my god. Look at yourself, bitch. God damn.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
You only show like 9/10 of your fucking body.
Dude, I've literally seen. I remember in the middle of the pandemic, there was this one girl who like had really beautiful eyes or like a beautiful body or something. She wasn't even naked or nothing, or even wearing a bikini, and she was wearing a face mask, and she had hundreds of thousands of people simping in the comments on Twitter. And I'm like, yo, you literally cannot see her face. Holy fucking shit!
You're
Holy
missing literally
motherfucking
1/10.
shit! You literally can't see her fucking face.
And you're already jumping. Everyone's already saying like, "Oh, yo, Queen."
Everybody would want.
She must be so sexy.
Everybody would want Jade to be the one with the OnlyFans, because, like, she's, like, supposed to be, like, the quintessential hot girl of Mortal Kombat, I guess. But I feel like she's got too much of a code of honor to do that shit.
Yeah, Jade would already be, like,
Jade would be the one that everybody begs to have an OnlyFans and just refuses to make one.
Like, Jade's already, like, the woman that, like, she, like, never even thought of OnlyFans because she already had, like, a great career. She had a great husband. She got kids. Like, her life is set. Like, she's just basically, like, I am loving my life and I want nothing to do with what any of my sisters do. At the very least, it's like, you know, Jade would be, like, on a podcast one day. She's like, I mean, I'm going to be real with you guys. There's some family dinners that are just so really fucking funny because, like, we always just make fun of Mileena, like, at her expense. And, like, you know, everyone just always says, like, you know, just like even in real life, just like on OnlyFans, she's second best and barely even that. So it's like, Jade definitely seems like the more mature kind of, like more mature than at least like out of the three of them. Like she definitely seems way more mature, and you know
she honestly reminds me of like Lisa Ann minus the porn.
Yeah, she's just like, you know,
if
like,
that makes any sense. She's like considers
been
herself
around.
like
She knows.
Yeah, she considers herself like a guardian to Katana, kind of like her kind of like her actual sister, basically her like actual like older sister and whatnot. And despite everybody thirsting over her mad hard, it's like she's that mature, like she's as mature as she looks. As well, if that makes any sense.
Angela White of the Mortal Kombat.
She's like the MILF that everyone wants to get with, that all the young guys want to get with, but like she's like a MILF who doesn't actually go for younger guys. Like,
I'm not even looking at
she
you.
actually likes guys her own age, if that makes any sense. And if you play the games, that's literally the truth. I mean, that's how it goes. So
she's like, you're not even like my
Scarlet
radar.
would have an OnlyFans. She's the Scarlet. She's from MK11. She's like a blood mage, basically. I feel like she's the one who would have an OnlyFans, maybe. But she's kind of weird at the same time.
I mean, but hey, everyone loves the weird ones. We all know that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like
got a mask too. No one even knows what the fuck she looks like.
Well, like half her alt, she's not wearing it.
I know, but it's just like off of the first
picture.
They all
have masks.
I know, but it's just like off of the first picture that I saw. It's just like, how are you gonna like a girl that you don't even know her full face? Like,
I feel like she would start an OnlyFans, but it wouldn't be like, you know, fucking nudes at first. Like, she would like slip some stuff in here and there, but what she would actually do is this literal like blood mage tutorials. Like, here's how to like pull blood out of a living being using nothing but your mind. And she just like shows it basically.
And like somehow it's like a 10-minute long video with ads.
With ads. Even though you have to pay for it because it's OnlyFans.
Imagine the ads too are like for like some hospital. It's like, hey, you got blood loss? There's this hospital you can go to that's like 2 miles down from you.
And then obviously there's Sonya, who would never in a fucking billion, million, quadrillion years ever do something like that. Never. If you know Sonya's character, she's way too stoic, way too serious. Would never do something like that.
Let me see how she looks now.
Well, she's not confirmed for the new game yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which no spoilers.
Sure.
Which I mean, I guess no spoilers for MK11. I'm pretty sure she dies in MK11.
She doesn't look like she does OnlyFans, but she looked like she have daughters that do OnlyFans.
I mean, oh yeah, there's Cassie. I completely forgot about Cassie.
Oh,
yeah, she would. Yeah, maybe Cassie.
Oh,
actually, no, she wouldn't. Actually, wait. No, but maybe in OnlyFans, but I remember there's actually one intro between her and Shao Kahn in MK11, where Shao Kahn's like, "You will join my concubines." And she's just like pointing her guns at him, and she's like, "Ew." Like, fuck no. Ew, what the? No. Just because she takes mad selfies, it doesn't mean she would start an OnlyFans. And I feel like
fair.
Yeah, this might have run its course.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
But
we're done.
I don't know why y'all ever would watch like an OnlyFans girl that never shows their face. Like, Because my mind automatically just thinks like, you must be ugly as fuck then. It's like, no. That's obviously not the case. But
I feel like girls should do it just to see how far they can get with it. Because I blame
showing
men
the
for
face?
No, not showing their face, just to see how far they can get not even doing that.
I mean, yeah.
Because I would wholeheartedly hate men for that. Unironically. Like, the blame goes to the wrong direction right there,
like,
you know?
just showing not the face, but like the...
Yeah, I'm not gonna hate the woman for that. She's chasing her bag, blah, blah, blah. It's her body, her sexuality. She can do what she wants with it. You can't just condemn it when it's not convenient for you and then promote it when you want to get off to her, whatever, all that good shit. But what you can do to stop, like, the quote-unquote immoral act of it, or just to stop the vicious cycle from continuing, is blame men for that shit. And I wholeheartedly blame men for subscribing to girls with OnlyFans who never show their fucking faces. You're insane for that.
You are insane, honestly.
Honest to God, like, there are actual women outside, I promise. And I think what Dennis is trying to say here is that don't pay $70 for games.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that argument. Yeah.
Pay $70 for the whole package. I think what Dennis is actually trying to say, not to put words into his mouth, is don't pay $70 for an OnlyFans where she doesn't show her face.
Like, don't buy a game that you know is gonna have $70 worth of DLC also on top of it. Is also what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, Tears of the Kingdom is gonna get DLC. I don't fucking care what anyone says. The last Breath of the Wild got a DLC. It wasn't that much really to begin with, but it's like, hey, it still got DLC.
Yeah, it got like 2 packs, didn't it?
Yeah, like got a season pass or something that like they.
I don't remember.
It was like some like just secondary type of stuff. You didn't need it to.
Yeah, I think it had 1 expansion pass. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
It had a couple more like quests you can do and all that and everything, but it's like, come on, guys, like, you know, Nintendo's gonna get a DLC for Tears of the Kingdom. Like, let's be real, and you know, all you guys are gonna buy it too, and you know. Also, it looks like Tears of the Kingdom is never going to be going down in price because I think even Breath of the Wild like kind of still is like what, 60?
Nope.
Like,
they dropped the price of Breath of the Wild a long time ago. Breath of the Wild is fucking 40 now.
40?
Yeah. And it's been 40 since before Tears of the Kingdom even was announced.
Okay, all right. I retract my statement.
And I can literally tell you that firsthand because I'm in stores doing my thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'll take your word for it.
It's actually like the cheapest game Nintendo sells now, which makes sense. But, you know.
Really?
The cheapest first-party title, I should say.
Even more than Odyssey? Like, even cheaper than Odyssey, I guess?
Odyssey, I think it's 50.
Wow. Oh, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but yeah.
What? Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, we're done here.
Yeah, bye.
I don't even put out the plugs. We just say bye. It's like bye.
Sub to our OnlyFans. We show our face. We show our faces. We promise.
Oh, also the worst ones, even worse than girls that don't show their faces, is feet pics.
Yeah, I've heard people consider starting to sell feet pics. I'm like, if you're really down that bad financially, do it. But for my mental health, please don't.
I don't want to know that.
No, I didn't.
Just don't tell me.
Just don't. If you're gonna do it, please just don't tell me. That's all I'm asking.
Don't ever drop that link anywhere. Just don't.
Ugh. Dude, I remember one time I had a foot in my face, and I'm trying, and I'm like, ugh.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it.
I was just like fucking her, like fucking bareback style missionary, whatever, where they're on their back, and then like her legs were just like all riding up on me, and I'm holding them and shit. And I'm very tall, so her feet were like perfect.
Oh yeah, like right on her face.
And I'm like, I'm just looking at it while I'm fucking her, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm serious, because I tried, and I'm like, whatever. So Twitter, Double D Pod, Instagram, the Double D Experience 21. Follow us, please, on all your favorite listening platforms, please. We got to do more viral marketing on the outside world. Unfortunately, we don't touch grass, though, so that requires touching grass. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there, promise. Also at youtube.com/Nintoonist. Thank you all so much for well over 100 views on last week's episode, by the way. That one really tickled us. Believe the thumbnail for that episode took longer to make than you'd think because I am literally autistic. I'm not saying that to insult anybody. I literally have Asperger's, and that's kind of the thing that triggers my Aspie brain a little bit. I'm not the best at making thumbnails, but I think I did a pretty great job with that one, and we almost just said fuck it and just let it go as is, even though it really didn't look too clean
rough,
or whatever.
Guys. The cut that we had, it was pretty rough.
Yeah, and Dennis kept encouraging me, and it was his idea in the first place, like that particular thumbnail. Like, I take a lot of his input on the thumbnails and shit. Trust me, it's a two-man operation here for the Double D experience. You know, like what you hear, like Loopy mentioned last week, is what you get. It's just two bros. Just two bros doing our thing. This is what you hear is what you get, like old Game Grumps, basically. And, yeah. And, so basically the thumbnail was his idea, and it took me a while to execute it, but it was... You guys definitely proved that it was worth it, so thank you. We'll see what the thumbnail for this week will be, see if we can keep pushing those boundaries if it winds up being necessary this week. But hey, seriously, just thank you guys so much for those views. Keep them coming. It fills our dopamine levels to astronomical levels and makes us the malignant narcissist that we were talking about early on in the episode, which I'm sure is what all of you at home want.
And also give us your money.
Yes.
When that time comes.
For no reason.
We'll put up a Patreon just so you guys could show your generosity to us.
Yeah, like not even extra content or anything.
It'll help pay for my Chipotle addiction.
Yo, if we had a Chipotle fund.
The burrito fund. Well, the burrito bowl fund.
Yo.
The BBF.
We're gonna see y'all in your dreams. And we love you.
While I'm eating a burrito.
Goodbye. Und good night. Und don't subscribe to girls with OnlyFans who don't show their faces, yeah.
Why is my content as good as Katana's? Why?
Maybe it's because you got a face that can chew through bricks.
Maybe it's because you have a face that literally Steven Spielberg said, damn!
Maybe it's... Maybe it's because you look like you went to prison and tried to bite your way out of the cell. Maybe it's because you look like you're in the Flintstones and shit and you have fucking rock cereal for breakfast.
Bitch, I swear to God, your mouth looked like it could bite through diamond.
Yo, can I still get the suck, though?
I'm a tier 3 sub. Can I get personalized content, please? I defended you in those mean comments.